Randy, how did you find out you were going to be part of this mission, and how did your family react?
We got a call from the chief of the astronaut office that called us all together and walked in the room and said, "Congratulations, you're the Artemis 3 crew." And at that moment, we were bonded for life. We had a little discussion, and then it took a while to absorb all that, and then starting to come together now and getting ready to start training up here in the next week. For my family, certainly they were excited. They know that I've been working a long time in the astronaut office, being able to help bring everything that leaves low Earth orbit into fruition, whether it's the suits, the landers, Orion. And so to be able to put all that experience and knowledge into an actual flight with a phenomenal crew like this, they were very happy. And having my kids being older this time is really going to be special because it's a totally different perspective for them as young people.
And Frank, I can imagine any assignment like this is just an unbelievable honor and thrill. But I also just wondered, is there any difference in reaction, given how much anybody wants to be on the moon landing mission, being part of a low Earth orbit test mission, or is it just all an incredible honor?
Yeah, Jake, it's a very natural question. I think obviously all humans would love to go to the moon, right? I think, well, maybe not all, but a whole lot of humans would love to go to the moon, us included. What's funny though is I think as much as we would love to be on the surface of the moon, I think the people who end up going to the surface would love to do the test portion, right? I think we're all wired in a way that we want to help design, we want to help develop, we want to help test, and then we want to go do the mission. And the reality is just not a single person can do all of those things. And so you have to attack it as a team. You have to pass that baton, as you've seen us do today several times. And so, no, it's honestly just a great honor to know that we are contributing to the mission.
And Andre, this is going to be your very first time in space. What do you think the first moment's going to be when you see the Earth from orbit?
Man, that is going to blow my mind. I've seen the beautiful pictures that these guys have taken from space. And then I've heard about how, there's a 3D aspect because you're going around the Earth so fast, you can see it from one angle, then another angle. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very awesome. So man, it's also going to be really big. I think there's this thing called the overview effect that I've heard so much about. I feel like I got a little bit of overview effect just from the launch that we did together, just taking our minds and realizing there's something bigger than us out there, right? And when you see it physically, that's just going to be crazy.
Luca, you got a little emotional during your speech at today's ceremony. What does being assigned to this mission mean to you?
Well, in many ways, it's a dream come true. I'm very happy that for the past few years, I've been saying that Artemis 3 would be an incredible mission for somebody with my background as a test pilot. And I'm glad that those words grew old really well, because now that I'm here in this mission, it is a test pilot's dream mission. We have a fantastic crew with a lot of experience in testing equipment, testing procedure. We have a fantastic spacecraft, two landers to test, with procedures to develop, and I could not imagine a better way at this point to contribute to this incredible endeavor that is going back to the moon. That is true for me as an individual, it's true for me as an Italian, part of the European Space Agency, and it's a very fantastic chance for us as a European Space Agency to demonstrate that we are a strong supporter, strong, reliable partner for NASA.
And Frank, if NASA does end up being able to launch this mission next year, that's a quick turnaround time. The Artemis 2 astronauts got to train for 3 years. Do you feel like you're going to have enough time to train for Artemis 3?
I do. I think we have a fantastic training team. We've got a great crew. I think we're all willing to work and do whatever it takes to help the mission succeed. Because ultimately, as a nation, we have a goal to get Americans back on the moon, and our part needs to get done for that part to be the next one. And so we're going to do everything humanly possible to help us succeed.
And Randy, I can't help but notice there are no women in this crew of Artemis 3, and there is a group of female military test pilots with similar qualifications as their male counterparts. I know you guys weren't in charge of who picked who, but I wonder, was it intentional not to pick women, or that's just the way the dice rolled?
No, certainly not intentional. I mean, you can look at our astronaut office and see the wide, diversity within the office, whether that's gender or background or nationality or heritage. And certainly the boss had to pick the crew for this flight that he had available, that had the skill sets that he needed. But certainly just, look at our ISS missions where we had, our recent cruise with Anne McLean and Nicole Ayers were the commander and pilot. We've got the Crew 13 coming up with Caleb Barron and Chris Birch, as the commander and pilot. So the office gets what it needs when it needs it, and we'll certainly have all these other people that you mentioned are female military test pilots or just other female astronauts that will be picking up on the follow-on Artemis missions, and we're here to carry the fire so that we can hand off the torch to them.
And Andre, as has been referred to, we heard from the Artemis II crew today. Commander Reed Weissman officially passed the baton to you guys. What does it feel like to follow in their footsteps? They were so successful, so inspirational to so many of us.
Yeah, I think their ceiling that they hit, that's going to be our floor, and we're going to go to that next level. And hopefully our ceiling becomes Artemis Crew 4's new floor, right? And that's the whole thing with this baton. We're just linking the chains of success together. And so, I mean, it was great to see how that crew operated. I'm very excited to see how we're going to operate as a crew. We're going to learn from what they've done, right? And we're going to just build upon that and then pass it on to the next. So it's super exciting to be able to do that with these folks here.
And Luca, the Artemis II crew members, they named their Orion spacecraft Integrity. Have you guys thought about what you'd like to name your craft?
Not yet.
We haven't had a chance to work on that yet. It's going to be fun. We have so much background. We have a lot in common. We have a lot of differences. It's I think it's there in that Venn diagram that overlaps, but it's also very varied, that you find great ideas coming up. So I'm just looking forward to everything, creating new traditions and also carry forward the ones of those that came before us and come up with new names, a new patch, a motto for us. That's all part of what's going to make this next year very, very fun.
Well, it's so exciting, and we're all so inspired and excited for you. Randy, Andre, Frank, Luca, congratulations on your new mission. We can't wait to see you carry it off. Godspeed.
NASA officials essentially gave us a big timeline of what will come in the Artemis 3 mission and what it will really entail. I just want to bring you up to speed here. Artemis 1 in 2022, an uncrewed mission around the moon. Artemis 2 just happened, April. A crewed mission, 4 on board around lunar orbit, the furthest humans had ever been from the Earth. Which brings us to Artemis 3, which was supposed to be a lunar landing. Now that's been moved to Artemis 4. This will be the mission in 2028. That will be a crewed surface landing and an exploration of the lunar South Pole region. The keystone now is Artemis 3. NASA reshuffled this timeline, and this will be a mission in low Earth orbit, crewed demonstration to demonstrate the systems needed for lunar landing. This is what's going to happen. This is what has already been to space. This is the Orion capsule. This is the European service module. What will happen here is that the Orion capsule will dock with what will be used to ultimately land on the lunar surface. They'll do something called testing interoperability, essentially how the hatch will work and how astronauts will pass from one vehicle to the other. Essentially, will these vehicles play nicely with each other? This is a keystone of what is to come for these lunar missions. And also, a big competition is taking place between commercial space companies to be the winner of this competition that will pick the lunar lander. SpaceX has its HLS, its human landing system. Also, Blue Origin has its Blue Moon Mark II, which is currently being tested right now. One of these will land on the lunar surface first. Seems likely that it'll be the SpaceX entrant into this competition, in large part because of what happened just 10 days ago, this explosion of the Blue Origin New Glenn rocket on the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center. So now Blue Origin has some ground to make up. Ultimately, this will be a 14-day-long mission. Blue Origin's rocket will launch first along with the Orion Space Launch System. Then the Orion will dock with Blue Origin and then dock with SpaceX. This is really key, a linchpin for our return to the moon, the first time in more than 50 years.
And Pete, what's the timeline for this mission?
Well, 2028 is when the Artemis 4 mission will take place. 2027 is when the Artemis 3 mission will take place. And we will see some wet dress rehearsals, essentially test runs, later this year. So this is coming on very quickly, and we'll see some pretty big movements here by NASA soon.